love with a man on a pirate ship.
La, 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 whatever.
For mining engineering, I went to school for geology, and I got an MBA in business. I mean, I'm not stupid.
It doesn't matter.
It has caused mental health issues for yourself because of how overworked and stressed you are, to the point where we're on the brink of divorce.
Oh well.
I am Sadhna. I am Sumit mom.
And yeah, she loved you.
La, la, la.
Bitch, you better be joking.
Awesome! We have a brand new season of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way that premiered on September 8th. On episode 1, we have some new faces, like Chloe and Johnny, and Mano and Anthony. Chloe being a 23-year-old who fell in love with a man on vacation.
I'm leaving a 6-figure job to move to Aruba because I fell in love with a man on a pirate ship.
This is a classic tale of a relationship that should have just been a fling. Even Chloe's friend who married a guy that previously worked with Johnny is like, no.
He was in an open relationship, quote unquote, with the girl.
He's not even faithful to you.
And I don't get why Chloe is set to leave her wonderful life. She's the one that says her life is just so great. She gets everything she wants, has money, is comfortable. But, you know, love is just making her ditch all of that.
I fell in love with a man on a pirate ship.
Girl, did you fall off that pirate ship? Because besides those New England winters being pretty rough, the only other reason I can see her packing up and leaving is because she's bored and she wants to live this fantasy life in Aruba, where it's a vacation all the time. You also can't tell me that someone didn't peak in high school when they feel like they need to show you all of their trophies from elementary school.
2008, what is that, first grade? First grade already winning trophies.
Huh, maybe peaked in high school was generous. So I think we know how this is going to go, right? It feels like her wanting to get married is very one-sided. Johnny looks like he loves his bachelor life in Aruba. So I think she's gonna learn pretty quickly that he doesn't want to give that up. And then we have Mano. She is actually from France and moved to the US years ago for plus-size modeling. She's now an executive marketing director, owns her own agency for social media and digital marketing, so you can probably guess why she's on the show. Her story is pretty unique though. Instead of trying to achieve her American dream, Mano and her husband Anthony are trying to move out of LA and back to France with their young son. At first, the explanation she has for moving feels relatable if you're a working parent in the US. After having their son, childcare was too expensive, so Anthony became a stay-at-home dad. Mano worked multiple jobs and felt like she wasn't getting to see her family enough. I was nodding when they were explaining this, like, okay, that makes sense. But then what she says to her friends completely loses me.
Growing up in France always made me feel like I was less than. I remember being bullied.
She even says that the bullying came from within her family that they will be living with when they move back. Also, they live in LA, which is a very expensive place to live. Why couldn't they just try to move somewhere else where he could get a job? I feel like we're missing some information too, because they're very quick to make this decision and then sell their house, and then they have to leave just 2 weeks later. It feels very sudden.
It has caused mental health issues for yourself because of how overworked and stressed you are, to the point where we're on the brink of divorce.
It makes me think that maybe they had debt they needed to pay off. It makes me think that they're running from something. But I can say that this couple is not boring. Even on episode 1, they give us a nice family fight to watch when they tell Anthony's family that they are abruptly moving to a different country with their son.
Shut the front door.
Anthony's sister was apparently told something by Mano about her brother that bothered her.
When you talked to me and you said sometimes being with your brother makes me feel like I want to die inside.
It's one thing to try to bond with your sister-in-law, but saying he makes you want to die? That's really serious. I mean, Sarah's husband isn't looking very lively next to her either.
Okay, get out of my house.
Okay.
Addie, I'm done.
While we do have some new faces on episode 1 of this new season, we also have some familiar ones as well. Some more familiar than others, like you might recognize Luke and Meline. They were on Love in Paradise. I actually thought that she was a child when they were on Love in Paradise. She is now 20 years old, but that timeline of when they started dating was suspicious. They also both act very immature. Luke put all of his money into this jewelry and sunglasses line, and now he says he has a lot of debt, but says he is now invested in a luxury hotel in Colombia. You can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes because that sounds suspicious as well. He also already on this season seems to be trying to convince people that he is not, in fact, dumb.
I went to school for mining engineering, I went to school for geology, and I got an MBA in business. I mean, I'm not stupid.
But even his dad is like, no, you make dumb, impulsive decisions.
You do stupid things.
I don't know. This couple is just obnoxious. So we'll see what crazy drama they bring, I guess. Ugh. I really hope a baby is not a part of that, though. Let's hope that that's a COVID test. So last, but definitely not least, we have the most familiar couple returning. And a big surprise returning with them. Yeah, that's Sumit's mom. I do have a video about their 90-Day Diaries season, but if you haven't seen any of that, you're probably wondering why the heck Jenny and Sumit's mom are now friendly. I mean, it's been years of them not accepting Jenny. Years! And lots of mean name calling. And for those who need a bit of a refresher, Jenny and Sumit started talking in 2011 on social media. And in this Other Way intro, they completely skip over the fact that Sumit actually catfished Jenny initially.
Pretending to be Michael Jones. Later on, I come clean and told Jenny that I'm Sumit.
She still thought he was cute though, and their relationship continued. But there was a big problem because Sumit was actually already married.
My parents forced me into an unhappy arranged marriage.
I kind of forgot about that. He did end up getting divorced, but they had an even bigger hurdle when it came to Sumit's family, specifically his mom, because Jenny and Sumit have a 30-year age gap, and it caused some of the most intense fights ever seen in 90-day history. Sumit's mom disowned him and said that they would never support their marriage. Sumit's mom was ruthless, even calling Jenny an old hag at one point. She did. She called her that.
दादी लग रही है, सुमित grandmother.
For a long time, I did not think that they would get married. Sumit did not want to without his parents' approval, but eventually he had a change of heart and they did end up tying the knot. And we learned on the Happily Ever After tell-all that Sumit's family was coming around to the idea of them being married.
Sumit and Jenny have blessings from me.
But we did not see Sumit's mom when the family appeared, saying that they were supportive. When 90-Day Diaries premiered, though, we got a very shocking surprise. All of the sudden, after all of the nasty comments and disowning of her son, Sumit's mom, Sadhna, was hanging out at the mall with Jenny. Whoa. And that's not all. Jenny claimed that they were best friends. What? So my question after I saw this and got over the initial shock was on 90-Day Diaries, what made Sadhna suddenly change her mind? I had this theory that Sumit's mom was just tolerating Jenny. I mean, they're the same age and they don't speak the same language. But why, after all of these years, change her mind? What did it?
जो हुआ वो हो गया. अब नए तरीके से शुरू कर रहे हैं हम लोग.
I also said in the video that this favorite daughter-in-law, Shri, must have done something really bad because it seemed like Sadhna didn't have anyone else to hang out with but Jenny. And why wouldn't she hang out with her favorite daughter-in-law? Like, what did Shri do to make Sadhna suddenly be nice to Jenny? So we do learn that that theory I had is actually true. But just to end this 90-Day Diaries refresh, we also learned that Jenny and Sumit had moved into this new apartment that Jenny loved, but Sumit had lost his job. So they were in a situation where Jenny might need to get a job. And they needed to move in with Sumit's parents. Yeah, just let that sink in. We saw clips of Sumit's mom insulting Jenny, getting upset with how she cooked and cleaned, and now they're gonna live together. So back to The Other Way, episode 1. While Jenny and Sumit are getting Sumit's luscious locks oiled up, they talk about how, yes, they are in a financial crisis. But even though they say the words financial crisis and move in with his parents, I have never seen Sumit look happier. And yes, living with your family is a very normal cultural thing to do in India, But Jenny and Sadhna living together after everything that's happened, oof.
I can't wait to see what happens.
But they say multiple times that they don't really have a choice. And they also won't just be living with Sumit's parents. Sumit's brother and his wife, Shri, who used to be the favorite, live there too. We get to find out what she did that was so bad that it made Jenny the new favorite daughter-in-law.
It was like very, very disrespectful all these years that I did for them.
Apparently, Sumit's mom didn't think that the daughter-in-law did anything for them. So now Jenny and Sumit are the favorites.
We all can live together. I'm afraid. You're afraid?
He's worried that Shri will have to pick up the slack in the house and for more people, which is interesting. They must really think Jenny is not capable of doing chores and cooking. She has not proven that she can do those things, so... But it happens. Jenny and Sumit pack up, and it really is not treated like a temporary arrangement at all. They clear out their apartment, they get welcomed into their new home, they unpack, and Sadhna is already going through Jenny's stuff.
ये क्या है? Jenny?
My room.
Yeah, and she's gonna need a lot more of that. This season is starting out with a good mix of new and old couples, and I will say that the new dynamic of Jenny and Sumit living with his parents is definitely interesting. And not only are they going to live with Sumit's parents, they are going to open a cafe. So Jenny is also going to have to work. She's 67 and was retired, remember? She moved across the world to marry a man in his 30s and now lives with his parents and works as a barista. I feel like there's no way she saw any of that coming. She should have just stayed retired and lived a comfortable life. But now here she is, living an uncomfortable life. And something tells me Jenny will not be best friends with Sumit's mom by the end of this. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And also, this is my QR code to my Snapchat. Make sure to follow my public profile. I will be posting often on there. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!